If you want to visit the National Museum of American History, the federal government would like a word with you first. Outside, on the sidewalk, before you even reach the door. On July 24th, President Trump ordered the National Park Service to put signs along the walkways leading to the museum. Those signs are supposed to tell visitors that exhibits should be revised, correct what the admin considers inaccurate information inside, and point people towards sources it considers more accurate. The location is the interesting part of this story. The Smithsonian was created by Congress in 1846, but it isn't an executive branch agency. It has its own board of regents, made up of the Chief Justice, members of Congress, private citizens, and the Vice President. The President can pressure it, certainly. He can criticize it, obviously. He can use other parts of the federal government to lean on it. But he can't simply walk into the museum and order the wall text to be rewritten. The July 24th order does direct federal officials to use whatever lawful funding, contracting, and administrative leverage they have to push for changes. And still, the most visible part of the strategy ends up to be somewhere sort of more simple. The National Park Service walkways outside. Now, the Smithsonian controls what visitors see once they're inside. The executive branch manages part of the route that folks take to get there. This follows like a much broader White House campaign against the Smithsonian itself. A 162-page report released on July 4th accused the museum of replacing a shared national story with an ideological one and of failing to properly celebrate the founding. Then, the July 24th order added a specific complaint that the museum had failed to appropriately honor the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence during the 250th anniversary year. The report then went further. It floated language telling visitors that some exhibits had been prepared by people who don't want you to love your country. The executive order doesn't require those exact words, which is worth keeping straight, I suppose. The Smithsonian's answer is that broadening the historical record doesn't erase the older one. Museum director Anthea Hartig, I think I got that name right, told Congress that patriotism works best when it's not instructed but inspired. And there's also a pretty basic factual complication here. The museum opened a major 250th anniversary presentation in May featuring Jefferson's writing desk, Revolutionary era artifacts, and the Star-Spangled Banner. So the dispute sort of is grasping beyond whether the founding is present in the museum. It gets more into what the museum is supposed to do with that history, whether it should mainly reinforce a shared national story or also complicate that story with evidence and people that earlier versions left out. None of this kind of pressure is new, by the way. In 1995, a planned interpretive exhibition around the Enola Gay, the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, was canceled after there was this fierce opposition from veterans groups and threats of congressional hearings and budget cuts. A much narrower exhibit opened later that year. The unusual part here is the tactic itself. I know that might sound odd, but I think that's really true. One part of the federal government is using property it controls to challenge the credibility of an institution it doesn't directly govern. Before visitors see an artifact, or read a label, or make up their own minds, the admin wants its own judgment about the museum waiting for them outside. The museum also still gets a say in all this. The admin is trying to shape the terms on which people hear their argument, though, before they ever hear it. That's why the sidewalk is important. Power doesn't always need direct control over what an institution says. Sometimes getting there first and telling the public whether that institution deserves to be believed, sometimes that's enough. Cue the old Mark Twain quote. I don't know if that's, I think it's attributed to him. I don't know if it's considered to be apocryphal or not, but hopefully you know that about the truth tying its shoes. I'll see you soon.